Hey, my name is Tom Llewellyn. I'm a page at Appaloosa, and this is a three-part series on some AI trainings I've done for my SMART goals. And I thought it might be a little easier to disseminate because our branch manager moved down to Mustang, and we're not going to be having staff meetings, so I can present this information. So hopefully this is helpful. It's a really important topic. But there's three sessions. The first one is, what is it and where are we, right? So let's start with where are we with AI? And not just in the library, but broadly. Specifically in the library, though. Everybody should be pretty excited. I went to the AI training in all staff, and it was really, really good. It wasn't about how to do AI, but what the city is doing. The city has put together with Microsoft a really, really well thought out set of best practices, not just on use, but how to use it, how to do projects, how to stay inside the legal boundaries. And it's marvelous. 40 years ago when I started the tech industry and PCs PCs of all things, came into the mix, a lot of CIOs would just say, oh, those are toys, don't worry about those. There was no plan to integrate them, and it was kind of a mess, right? So the city is fully and adequately prepared, not only on security and networking and whatever, but now on AI. So you can feel confident that people will do the right thing, or at least have the education to do it well. So the first thing to kind of think is, when you think of the city, they're looking on how to use it for the business processes. When asked, or when, I guess, relayed by my manager, how do I do this? He says, well, focus on library stuff. And I go, well, library stuff isn't any different than any other enterprise anywhere in the world doing anything, whether it's nonprofit or public or whatever. We all have business processes. And that's what the city and the IT department is helping us look at. It's like, how do we make these business processes better? And so they're looking to solicit ideas, and I hope you have some. But it's across all the trainings, and I'll show you the last slide when we get there. It's a long list of trainings, as well as all the other things that I love AI, so I really like reading about it. But it's kind of like, a job in the library is not a lot different than a job at, a retail store or any business, a concrete business. We all pay bills, we all have inventory coming out, books for us, concrete for a concrete company. But all the business processes are the same. So if you focus on those and we make ours better and better, it'll be good for the library, it'll be very good for our patrons, right? So anyway, across all those trainings, one thing that was common is, don't let AI use you, you use AI. And that is, don't say, oh, go write me a paper on something. It's like, I've written a paper and help me on, style or grammar or whatever. Is it clear? Is it whatever? So it's that kind of thing that you want to focus on. It's like, how can I use it to help me versus how do I skirt my job? And hopefully it'll produce something that's useful. Anyway, the importance of AI is literally touches kind of just every kind of job you can imagine, as well as those things you do on your own, right? So, one of the ways to introduce yourself to AI is just go out and do some fun stuff, make a picture or do some research or, write something and have it comment or whatever. But kind of use it to get a feel for it. It's not this, one question and you're done thing, and we'll get to those examples in the second session. It's kind of better than that. Along the way, you're learning to use it better and better because you're getting smarter and smarter in terms of what the answers are coming back, and you go, did I ask that? Anyway, in the future, you have to understand that this AI is so young. It's 2 years old to the customers, right? It's about 30 or 40 years old in terms of how long it's been kind of moving along and trying to get better and better. But at the end of the day, it's young. We've just tapped so little. In the future, you'll see robots that are very smart robots, right? They'll maybe talk to you, chat with you, maybe put a wheel on a car somewhere in a factory, vacuum your house, be your butler or valet. There's literally a relatively smart robot that can do housework Like, holy moly. So it's coming quick, and it's just going to get better and better. There'll be some things that are worse and worse, and I'll talk about those later too. But, of course, my fingers are so dry I can't turn my pages. So some examples. So if you go back to its incipience this century, so in 2017, I was working for an enterprise software company. We got our first machine learning package. So machine learning is the basis of AI. And literally every company that was a big software provider said, well, we're doing AI, they're doing machine learning on something, which is kind of a tiny segment. But along came IBM Watson. It did predictive kind of learning and teaching the computer or having the computer play chess champions, and it learned how to win over time and predict better the next move, which is that next move is something that happens in large language stuff. Later on, you see stuff like Grammarly. Large language models came, just 2 years ago. There's a really important one called DeepMind. And this is a few years ago too. It's not large language, it's rules-based. So whereas Watson stored all the games that chess ever played, DeepMind just said, well, here are the rules, go play. And when it started playing chess masters, it invented new ways they never even had seen before to beat them, and it beat them badly, right? So it's kind of a different way to look at it. Now we're starting to see AI agents that are really much more powerful than the stuff that I sold 8 years ago, but they apply to all kinds of things. They can do accounts payable or receivables. They can help do supply chain optimization. They can do all kinds of things that those agents couldn't do before. My doctor is now using AI, but he uses it to help summarize the information that he has in the system every time, I get, a healthcare checkup and a physical each year. I mean, last year when they weren't using it took him 3 hours on a Sunday to go through all the information. I was like, felt bad for him. But that's what he gets out of it when I have a 2-hour session with him going over my health. This is going to help all doctors. You think my doctor has 500 customers? Most doctors have 3,000. They don't know who you are when you come in. But AI can help them learn about you so he can help you much, much better. And then finally, the future. Kind of the godfather of AI, a guy named Yann LeCun, started in the 80s, is reconceiving a whole different kind of model based on visual learning of the AI. So it's kind of like instead of learning segments of the world or trying to be a large language encompassing everything, where at the end of the day, depending on what it's reading, its output might be a racist, a social renegade, or it could be, Thomas Jefferson. So it's a little hard because there's no rules to say, this is kind of what you need to focus on in terms of, general responses. What are those rules? And maybe they'll, combine at some point. But he thinks that visual learning, a robot that's walking around, seeing the world and trying to understand it. So pretty interesting stuff. Finally, and I'll end now. You should be seeing the last slide that has the references. The training the city has provided you and the WebJunction stuff is really excellent. I mean, they spent some time, they had great insights, and it's very worthy of your time, even if you're already using it, to kind of get an idea of what the city thinks and especially the legal parameters and understanding where you may get off the rails. Those are kind of important. So anyway, I'm Tom Llewellyn. I will see you on session 2, where I'll show you some examples that might help you get started.